From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode,
Blaizing Academy and INNOPOWER have launched an AI training initiative promising to train 1,000 people in Indiana to have essential AI skills by this July. We talked to John QUALLS, the executive director of Blaizing Academy and a champion for AI literacy, to find out how they plan to make that happen.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
Weight loss. It needs to be fast and sustainable. Noom GLP-1 starts at just $149 and ships to your door in 7 days. Take it from Lauren, who lost 22 pounds on Noom.
If I come off of the GLP-1, it's not going to automatically make my weight yo-yo back.
$149 GLP-1s? Now that's Noom smart. Get started at Noom.com. Real Noom user compensated to provide their story. Individual results may vary. Not all customers will medically qualify for prescription medications. Compounded medications are not reviewed by the FDA for safety, efficacy, or quality.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
Yeah, John QUALLS, Executive Director at Blaizing Academy, and we're focused on AI literacy in kind of underserved and Main Street America. You know, I grew up here in Indianapolis. I went into the Marine Corps, and when I went into the Marine Corps, I learned a little bit about computers only because I knew how to type. And that began a journey of, I want to say, at least maybe 7 or 8 startup organizations that I've been a part of, all in kind of technology. So as I got out of the military, I came back here, and I've been involved in technology ever since. First, I wish I would have had this when I was younger. The tools that you can do and what you can do with it is amazing. You know, I think a lot of times people think that maybe they've missed the boat on this AI, but it's actually a lot earlier than you think. I was talking to someone the other day, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're really doing a lot," and I find out they're using Grammarly, and I'm kind of like, well, there's a lot more than just that. So I just think we're on the really front end of people understanding a tool set that's really going to unleash a tremendous amount of productivity and creativity. It's still early, but I think it's really important, the AI literacy piece, right, to really understand what can and can't be done with it today. It's not just leveling the playing field, but it's allowing them to really amplify. You know, like someone says, I feel like I can be 8 people now. And as if you know anything about starting a company, you always feel like 8 people. But boy, it'd be nice to have some tools to feel like I can actually be as effective as 8 people. You know, a lot of times I say, well, we'll teach prompt engineering, and people want to say, wait a minute, engineering, I'm not a technologist. And I say, I wish I'd just call it prompt crafting. But it's the art of asking a really good question. And I think that's universal for any business. And as business owners, at the end of the day, you constantly have questions. We do a lot to try to help you understand. Just have a conversation. And I think that's the really breakthrough, is that you could just have you don't have to be technical. Just have a conversation with what the context of and your intention. And its interaction, it kind of almost feels like magic sometimes. Yeah, so us in INNOPOWER, we're talking, and it's like, how can we make a bigger impact than just one person at a time? And so we took a step back and said, why don't we teach 50 people, and at Blaizing Academy we have kind of an AI specialist program, and teach them how to be an AI specialist. Let's teach them how to be a specialist, but let's pick 50 people that are in the middle of communities, and let's teach them how to be instructors. So not only to learn it, but to actually instruct it. So what we'll be doing is teaching 50 people AI, and then how to teach people AI, and each one of them will be tasked to teach 20 people. And I think that means, at least my math is 1,050, so it's more than 1,000 people by July. It is so rewarding to watch them uncover what can be done. A lot of times they just didn't know what they didn't know. I think things at times are still very early. I think 98% of people still use the tool like a Google prompt, like it's only 4 or 5 words. And so we really teach them how to actually do work with it. If you talk about just the human capital supply chain, you have the boomers that are moving out of the workforce at 10,000 a day, and you've got young people coming into the workforce at about 3,500 a day. So that means that about every 30 days we lose in the workforce St. Louis, right? If you just want to think about it from a number standpoint. And that supply chain change is creating a tremendous amount of pressure and opportunity, right, in that piece. The other thing is, I think at the end of it, everyone's just trying to get more done with less, right? We're just, with inflation, everything else, like how can I get more done with less? And if we can show you how to spend $20 and get $1,000 of value, that just feels like something to understand. I always say at least 2 or 3 times a week, I'll be somewhere and someone will walk up and say, hey, I went to one of your sessions, it changed my life. It literally just happened last week, and I was like, I don't think it was me, but I'm really excited that we were able to open that opportunity for you. And that's the part I can't, every time, this is really hard to do, by the way. It's really hard work. And every time I think, and then something like that happens, and I'm back, and we're back to doing what we do. So.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BEOshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.